Guys, for the next topic, this is a complete hypothetical, but I wanted to ask this because Tyvis is with us today, and he has some personal knowledge of the upcoming question. Pete Carroll announced that he has some interest in returning to coaching. Adam Schefter tweeted out on Christmas Day that Pete Carroll is interested in returning, has interest in the Bears job in particular. We'll see if the Bears have reciprocated interest. And that led to some people online in the Browns community saying, Pete Carroll, come to Cleveland. So for the sake of this conversation, if the Browns were to move on from Kevin Stefanski, I'm not saying they will, but if they were, Tyvis, would Pete Carroll be a good fit for this Browns team, and is he an upgrade over Kevin Stefanski?
Heck he is. Pete Carroll is all about competing. You know, the thing that Pete did, I think, I don't know Kevin, personally, obviously I've had a couple of interactions with him, but I don't know personally what goes on. The thing what Pete Carroll does is he makes the environment, he makes the job so fun that people want to come to work. It's so much energy there. You got music blasting. He jokes around. They got the basketball hoops and meeting rooms and all those things. He makes the work environment fun. That it's so fun that guys be competing. Like the fun part is competing against people. Like to come in there in meeting rooms every day out of nowhere. You sitting in team meeting rooms. He going over practice. And he goes, you know what? Today we got matchups today. This is what we looking out for today. And he puts your picture up versus a wide receiver. This is the matchup of the day right here. Tyvis versus Doug Baldwin. And you be sitting there like, out of all the people, like, now I'm hyped for practice now.
Right.
Because they going to come in the next day and they going to say, remember I told y'all that matchup? Let's see how it went.
Let's see.
And they going to pull the clips. Oh, man. So it's like a lot of energy. And I just think this Browns team right now, where they are, like, they need to compete. They need to find that competitive spirit again. They need to have that fun again. Because I think right now, as we talk about the Browns organization right now, you hear them talk about it's not fun coming here after a loss like that. You bring that competitive spirit, that fun environment back in there. Now guys is going as absolutely hard as they can. Now it's, I need to be here. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else. I love it here so much because I'm having so much fun. I enjoy the coaches. I enjoy my teammates. We're winning games. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else. I've never want to ask for a trade. Like, when you think about the Seattle days, very seldomly did you hear people like, I got to get out of Seattle. Like, that wasn't the case. It was like, I really don't never want to leave because I'm scared of what I know the next organization ain't going to be like this. So it's something about Pete that he could, if that was the case, I think the Browns could turn around. Now, obviously, you'd have to do some coaching staff and figure out who you're going to get for certain, like, offense and defensive coordinators and things like that. But as far as the head coach goes, I think he brings the right stuff that you need to get organization. Because it wasn't like Seattle was great when he first got there, but he took them and became very successful very fast. And I think Pete does a really good job of recognizing talent. You know, some of the times you get people and they don't love the game of football. Like some people think about Jed Wills. People say Jed don't love the game of football. He's not really that big of a competitor like that. Pete won't make that mistake because that's all Pete talks about is competitive. Does this guy love the game? And if you don't, why would we take you to begin with?
Dustin, do you think his age and experience will be would it be a plus or a minus? Because Pete Carroll, how old is he, McNugget?
78 or something, right?
Yeah,
He's 73 years old.
Wow. That's wild.
I don't look at numbers of how old you are as an indicator of this guy can or can't do something. Because I have people in my life that I see all the time that can move better than people that are 30 years old and they're in their 70s. So, I don't think that age number matters.
Don't worry
because
about
in his mind, he's 35 years old.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be out there chewing.
You know what I mean? Like
he gonna chew that double bubble.
100%.
He gonna have them air monarchs.
He'll have his gloves on.
He gonna have the gloves on, throwing it around.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen. If he was in his 80s, maybe a different story. Because it's just asking a lot of a person to take on a job that's going to require multiple years to build something. But Pete, I think he's probably got like one, 4-year run left in him.
Yeah, probably.
Before he would like to ride off in the sunset. Is Cleveland the right fit? I don't think it's the right fit. I don't know that. Frankly, if I were him, I probably would not want to take on something this
So you think
taxing
that it's a massive? You looking at it as a massive?
Well, I feel like that's for any head coach though. Like,
it's a tough job.
You gonna come here and be handicapped? Can't really make no moves.
Don't know if you
what
kind of power you got.
Miles, Joel, and Denzel might be gone, so you really start from scratch, and you got to wait 2 years before you can really do anything.
That's kind of wild. I didn't really never look at it because we're so used to saying that the Browns are one of the youngest teams because we rebuilt in 15, 16, took them L's. We're used to saying, hey, we got the most cap space. Mm-hmm. We got the youngest roster. 25, under 25, we got guys there. And we're used to saying, okay, well, we really don't need a quarterback in the draft. We haven't even checked the draft because we had Baker at one point in time who was the first overall pick. That didn't work. You go back and you get Deshaun Watson, you're trying to figure out, okay, well, hopefully he gets back to Deshaun Watson stuff. But this is really, this is a rebuild. There is a lot of question marks. The running game ain't what it used to be. At least you could say they got one of the best offensive lines in Nick Chubb. That doesn't look like that's going to be a situation. And if you Pete Carroll, the first thing I'm looking at as a coach is saying, all right, who my quarterback? And he might be asking the same questions Myles Garrett is. Hey, Myles, ask him what they going to do at quarterback because there does not seem to be no clean-cut answer to that. Like, by the way, I think we got to stop talking about Sam Darnold. Stop acting as if Sam Darnold is going to be on the open market. I feel 100% guaranteed the Minnesota Vikings, if they win a playoff game or if they go, God forbid, go to the NFC Championship game, he's on that roster. He's about to get franchised.
It'll pivot from Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, he's definitely on that squad. So when we're looking at these guys, there's not a readily available answer. And if I'm going to be a coach and I'm at his age and I've coached, and I don't know this to be a fact, you know, Pete Carroll, it seems from the outside looking in that he had a lot of power in Seattle.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's going to have that same level of power here in Cleveland. So why would you think about doing that if you used to operate in a certain way? And like you said, it's competition. He wouldn't have probably let Joe Flacco roll out if Deshaun Watson was here. He probably would have brought him back to compete. So I'm with Dustin. I don't think it's a move you want to make in your early 70s, even if you are young. You just don't want the headache. Maybe there's other roster positions, other places out there that's a better look for you, especially if they do got a quarterback in place. So it's intriguing, but also when you talk about the head coach, maybe Stefanski is the only one they can get right now. Like if you
because I don't know why would I. If I'm a guy that's looking to get back into coaching, why would I take the Browns job?
I don't think very much.
Because this is the thing. You take the Browns job, right? Say they give you 4-year contract. You know, everybody knows that when you become a head coach, you get 2 years.
It's 2 in the possible.
What did I just tell you? The money ain't freeing up for 2 years.
Yeah,
so
right.
why I ain't gonna do nothing for 2 years.
It's not an appealing job. You don't have a quarterback in your cap strap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't do nothing for 2 years.
And then think about this, Dustin. What if you come in and God forbid you do this, but you come in and you say, well, I don't have any other options. I think the best option is playing Deshaun Watson again. Now you just inherited all of the ill will, all of the vitriol, all of the bad baggage that the other regime got for coming to the same conclusion.
Yeah.
And now it's like you start off on a bad foot. You're like, but listen, bro, I inherited this. Like, you know, this wasn't my decision. We just didn't have any other options, so we got to play them. It's just it's a tough look. It's just a tough look, man.
Which is why most likely Stefanski's back. Because it's I think you probably just keep it status quo because the job has to sort of sort itself out over the next 12 to 16 months in terms of what the team's going to be, who you draft, and where the team's going to go in the 2026 season. Let's be honest. I mean, 2025 is probably going to be a really, really rough year for the Cleveland Browns.
You know what, McNuggets? I didn't think of it that way. Maybe that's they bring him Stefanski back because he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's the fact that hey, who's really signing up for that?
Or I mentioned this on, I think, a post-game show with UG. I said if the Browns are intent on drafting a quarterback high, like if they are gung-ho, we're going to find a way to get Ward, Sanders, whoever, then I think you can replace the coach because the new coach would be tied to that rookie quarterback and at least in lockstep with that, as opposed to what we're seeing in Chicago with Caleb Williams right now, who's going to be on his fourth offensive coordinator in 4 years. If the Browns are okay drafting best position available, the end, the tackle, running back, receiver, whatever else that may be, then you can keep Stefanski around because the quarterback you draft next season will then be either aligned with a new head coach or Stefanski rebounds and we feel a lot better about his potential moving forward. I'm not sure if you guys kind of feel the same way on that.
It's rough because we know that what usually happens, if you have a 3-and-something year, that means you got to overachieve next year. If they go 3-and-something this year, what do you think Stefanski has to show for him to be even around throughout next year? Because you're going to start on a very short leash if you go 3-13. And especially here's the thing, the reason I think you can't bring back Deshaun Watson is if you trot back Deshaun Watson and Kevin Stefanski back out there, you're gonna have a double storm. Because some people are gonna be upset that Stefanski is still here, and a lot of people are gonna be mad that Deshaun Watson is starting the season again. And that could be including Myles Garrett and Joe Bitonio. And that's assuming if they tell him that plan, both those Bitonio retires and Myles Garrett says, I want out of here. How is that attainable? How could that work, Tyvis?
It won't. It won't. That's what I'm saying. Like, they put themselves in a situation to where it's like, that's what I'm telling you. I will be interested to see what they, like, if Myles doesn't request a trade, I want to know we'll find out, I guess, as the offseason goes, what they just said they was going to do. But right now, it's hard to tell because you ain't got no money.
Would you sell your soul for?
Sell my soul? I wouldn't sell it for nothing.
Well, I mean.
I wouldn't sell my soul for nothing.
Hyperbole. Would you two seriously think about Justin Fields or Kirk Cousins? And I'm going to start with Kirk Cousins. Because it's easier to sell Kirk Cousins if I came to Myles Garrett and said, look, Kirk played terrible last year. But so did Deshaun. So Kirk played garbage last year. But so did Jameis Winston.
Jeremy Fowler was on a podcast with Kevin Clark this morning and made it seem very, very, very likely Kirk Cousins ends up here, just to give you the heads up.
And at least with Kirk Cousins, I watched the quarterback show. Kirk Cousins, high character guy. He's one of those dudes where it's like, have you ever gone from a guy that, just plays quarterback and he goes out and it seems like he puts as much time and effort into the game plan as you, but you play a different position?
Yeah.
And you be like, hey, dog, you with me kicking it. And you're a quarterback. That shouldn't happen. I'm a D lineman. I only got 2 reads.
I need to know. I need to know.
You see what I'm saying?
You don't have the time that I have.
You don't got that leeway. But then you get another quarterback that come in, and then he's damn near a graduate assistant. Like, he old, he married, he got a kid, he don't go nowhere. He invite the offensive lineman over. He in the playbook.
I was like Jimmy G when I was in San Fran. I was like when they got Jimmy G over CJ Beathard.
You was like, wow.
My boy CJ too.
You like looking at it, you like, well, look, man. And then Myles Garrett meet with him, and then Kirk Cousins give him that good old that speech about what he done been through and climbing a mountain and grabbing a rope and all that good stuff. And you come away and be like, you know what? We might be able to. He said, I wasn't right there. I had the Achilles. I'm putting in the work right now to be back, and I guarantee you, this is going to be the best roster I played on right here, Myles.
That's a lie.
But it sounds good from Kurt. Kurt will have you. He done came from praise and worship service on Tuesday night. Kurt will have you in here being like, you know what? We might got something with this.
What is Kirk Cousins' numbers this season?
This season,
we already told you he played terrible.
He threw for 3,500 yards. He played 14 games.
Okay.
3,500 yards, 18 touchdowns, leads the NFL with 16 picks.
Okay.
Over his last, because he had a stretch where he played pretty well, but over his last 5 games, he threw 1 touchdown and 9 picks.
Okay. So how many picks Jameis throw?
He has 12 this year in fewer games.
Listen, but he
Hey,
had
man,
more
you wanna go
touchdowns.
from a Pentecostal pastor to a Baptist pastor.
There it is. Listen, sometimes, listen.
Okay, what about
in his church services? No one's catching the Holy Ghost. Everyone feels good about being a good person.
what about Kevin's last year with Minnesota?
That's another thing.
What was Kirk's number?
That was 19,
that Kevin
right?
Stefanski. Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins.
I think he became the coach in 20, so 19.
Yeah, so 19. Kirk played 15 games, threw for 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Listen,
That's Kevin Stefanski's wet dream.
Talk that Kevin Stefanski, Kirk Cousins connection. And then you say, I'm playing.
All I know is
I'm devil's advocate right now.
All I know is that right now, with the talent that he got, with Drake London, Mooney, Kyle Pitts, and Bijan Robinson, with a pretty good offensive line.
They ain't running the playbook.
Man, you better get out of here with that.
I'm just kidding. They're not running. They're not running in Atlanta what he's comfortable with. He can't really move like that. You know, he got the Achilles. You need to be able to turn your back.
So if I see the Browns acquire Kirk Cousins, the very next thing from ESPN, Bleacher Reporter, NFL is the Browns fire Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, that's happening. Yeah, I don't think Dorsey's back regardless. Do you?
Probably not.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's the point of even having the conversation? I know why we're having the conversation.
Yeah.
I'm being sarcastic, but like Kirk Cousins, if he comes here, we're not winning anything with Kirk Cousins.
Oh no, it's a beautiful smoke screen. It's an 8 and 9 smoke screen. Maybe 7 and 10, or whatever, 7-11. What is how many games they play now? 18 or something?
He played 17 games.
Okay, well, listen, 7, 10.
It's just a reincarnated Josh McCown situation.
Yes, it is.
You know, you got a veteran quarterback who's a good guy who can, control the locker room, can manage a game, but not going to win you games.
No.
I don't think Kirk Cousins anymore, certainly not with the weapons that they have in Cleveland, can put a team on his back and go out there and just throw for 350 and 4 touchdowns.
Do you think the optics are so bad in Cleveland that the fan base will take that over the alternative that's here?
Well, and for what it was with Deshaun,
Yes.
and for how bad it was. I mean, look, let's face it, man. When Flacco came in, look what happened. I mean, fans at least felt like for those 5 weeks or whatever it was that they could root for the quarterback. They felt like this guy gave them a chance to actually look like an offense. Cousins would probably do the same thing, in terms of like stabilize, allow people to actually have the game on and not
Right.
and not want to vomit watching the offense play.
Yeah, it's rough. He's not the answer. But if you try to, I'm just trying to say what they would
with
look
Winston
at.
this year. I mean, people got on board with Winston after the Ravens game.
They would. I mean, people. I think at this point just want competent football
The bar is very low.
with
Very low.
one quarterback.
Y'all,
I'm just keeping it a buck.
it definitely is low.
We're going
though.
to talk to Sean King in about 15 minutes. He could give us some insights on what he thinks Kirk Cousins still has left in the tank.